Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Whipsnapper Gaming, where we aim to discuss all things gaming. Hello, everybody, I'm back. So it's been a bit of a delay since the last video upload, getting my office together. It just looks like a white void at the moment, but fingers crossed it'll be looking good soon for everybody. So anyway, today we're going to be discussing Spider-Man Miles Morales for PS4 and PS5. Spider-Man Miles Morales is, how do I say this? Dope as hell. I really enjoyed this game. I played it on my PS5, first game I played on it. Let's just stop me fanboying for a second. We'll talk about a brief overview of the game. It's a smaller game than Spider-Man. It's probably about 15 hours it took me to get through. But it's still very fun, very densely. The city is different to the city that we know from the last Spider-Man game. It's more dense and alive. It's very hard to put my finger on exactly how to explain that. It's got its own style, if that makes sense.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
But anyway, onto the story. The story of Miles Morales takes place roughly around a year after the events of Spider-Man. Miles and Pete are still working. They're working together to try and figure out, Pete mentoring Spider-Man 2.0, Miles Morales, into what he needs to know to be a protector of the city. What we do see in this, though, is for reasons that are personal to Pete, he takes a vacation with MJ and leaves Miles in charge to take on protecting the city. Enter bad guys, of course. We have Roxxon, the evil corporation, there's always one of those, and the Underground, the gang that is trying to bring Roxxon down while also causing trouble to the streets of Manhattan. Now, Miles is 16 in this game. He seems like a 16-year-old kid, which is one of the best things I can say about this game. Is a lot of games don't, when they try to do a kid, they either make him annoying and bratty or, too tough and almost unbelievable. This game, one of the core concepts of it is identity. It's struggle with an identity of being a teenager, of who you are and how your story fits into everyone else's life and what makes you you, while also focusing on the identity that Miles needs to figure out. How do I become my own Spider-Man? How do I make this power and responsibility mine? The story in this game, although a little short, is very enjoyable, and it's fine that it's a little bit shorter than the last one because it was cheaper than the last one. So I'm ready to take that. The story is really good. The characters in the story are really good as well. They all feel authentic and very fleshed out into figuring out, like, what's this character's deal? What makes them special to Miles? How does this character fit into the story? They aren't just characters thrown in willy-nilly. They're really thought about and given proper character development, and it's just good to see. You feel attached to pretty much all of the main characters by the end. It's terrific. Now, the Underground are the new gang, the new villains for the most part, and they're really cool. They use tech weapons, which they're just cool to watch in, the gameplay and stuff, the way that they move. This gang are also very much like the bad guys and the TV show The Boys on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The superheroes and villains in that all know the power that social media has, and so do these villains, making them feel very fresh and modern enjoyable, not just like, oh, another gang of thugs. You know, it's good that they're very fitting to a younger, more hip Spider-Man, and I like it. The only thing I really didn't like about this story, to be fair, was that it wasn't long enough. I just wanted to keep playing. But I mean, for a 70-year-old game, what can I complain about it? I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now let's talk about gameplay real quick. So, mm, on the PS5, there's two modes. There is Fidelity mode, which enables ray tracing, native 4K, and 30 frames per second. That's what I played it through the first time. Beautiful, so stunning. Performance mode has no ray tracing and 60 frames per second. It's beautiful. It runs so smooth. It doesn't. It loses that specific ray tracing lighting that, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But it's still such a beautiful game and running at 60 frames. So that's really cool. So let's talk about some more general gameplay like that. Miles is fighting. Now, spoilers! Spoilers! So I just wanted to let anyone know that there's spoilers come up. Miles has his own set of powers in this game. Uh, they're Spidey's powers, but he has two powers that Spidey doesn't have. And the two powers that he has that Pete doesn't have are his Venom powers, which is bioelectricity channeling through his body to give like super speed, like short burst or a massive punch, shoots out electricity. These Venom things are so dope. They change the way you play the game completely while still feeling like you're playing a Spider-Man game. The developers have done really well. Shout out to Insomniac. Now, the other power he has that Pete doesn't have, which is in the last game, only sort of jokingly off and on, is invisibility. He has the ability to go invisible by his own. No suit requirements, it's just a native camouflage. This is really cool for sneaking around and handling like sneaky stealth situations a little bit better. It's just fun. You feel like all badass, like the Predator, and all of the bad guys, like Billy, that idiot, is like, ah, not fight me, fight the Predator. You know, it's dope. I really, really enjoyed it. Uh, Otherwise, gameplay, I mean, they've added new story components, new puzzle beats, and the way that side missions and just general stuff that happens in the world that doesn't happen in the last game. So if you find a side mission, an activity like a broken crane, or a side mission to save a bodega cat and then get a dope-ass cat skin for a Spider-Man, a cat comes out and bashes people up. All of that is so good, and it's all handled through Miles's app, which you swipe on your D-pad, your touchpad on your PlayStation. It opens. You've got everything you can be doing. There's crimes nearby. So in the last game, you had to just swing around and hope that you'd stumble across one. Here, you can activate like your tracking app, and then you'll go straight to them. There's no that little delay, and these are all improvements that I thoroughly enjoyed to the gameplay because I really love the last Spider-Man game. I think it was one of my best favorite games of the generation, and this takes that and builds on it in a very good and like wholesome way. That's the best way to describe this game: is a wholesome product with heaps of heart. You can tell that this isn't a cash grab by the developers in Insomniac. There are a few reused assets, but for the most part, everything's different. But let's just talk about web swinging for a second. Peter's is very methodical, yet, it's got a little bit of style to it. Miles looks like he's damn near dancing while he's swinging through the air. There's a bit of an abandon to Miles that isn't there with Pete. And they really made you feel that through the fighting and the web swinging, and just the general story development. I really can't say enough good things about this game. To be honest, I really can't. That's all I have to really say about this game is how terrific it is. I had one glitch, which was a visual glitch of a phone not being in a character's hand when they were supposed to be talking on it, of levitating a little. That was it. No other glitches the entire time for 2 full playthroughs. One glitch. It's a barely polished product. So, Spider-Man Miles Morales is amazing. Our useless rating system, of course, if I had to give it something, I'd give it probably 9.5 web shooters out of 10. Like, actually, I don't even know what makes a perfect game. Because this to me was damn near perfect if the story had been a little longer. That's all I can gripe about. But I paid cheaper, so I can't really. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, God, it's so good. So good. So good and tasty. Mmm.
Anyways, thanks for everybody for stopping in to Whippersnapper Gaming. Sorry, there's a bit of a delay in my uploads. I'll be trying to get back to everything as quick as I can and get my office ready straight away. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.